Hello everyone. I'm excited to be here with you today to show you what I have done for my level 2 final exam in the Altenew Educators Certification Program. I always say AECP and then when I have to spell it out, I don't do well. So first I'm going to show you what I used. And I want to apologize. I did do I did a process video to show you how I did this, and then that got deleted. So I did another set of cards. I didn't make another set of my project, but I did another set of cards, and yeah, I lost that footage. So I'm hoping that this footage works out. We will see. But first I'm going to show you what we're going to use. So I was super excited to take out my mixed media inks. They were so pretty when they were in the package, so I didn't want to open them, but we buy stuff to use it. And I'm actually missing, I thought I had everything out. I also used the Enchanted Gold, let me see, actually I used the, yes, Enchanted and Antique Gold pigment inks. So, but these are what I used on my project, one of my projects. So I just used an Altenew large blending brush for one of my projects, and I also used a finger dauber, so you'll see that. But these are just absolutely gorgeous. I'm so glad I finally opened them. They just look so pretty in the package, and I'm like, I don't want to waste them like on a project. But you know what? Open them, use them. They're fun. And this one also, there's the jet black, which I did not use. And I'm sorry if there is a glare, but today here in Maine, it is very overcast. It is a wet, rainy fall day. So lighting is a bit tricky. Okay, and then I used Altenew's embossing paste. I also used my Altenew limestone reinker. This right now is my favorite. I am obsessed with this, like you wouldn't believe. There are just some things I get obsessed with Altenew. And I apologize for my hands. I took one of the virtual workshops and I dyed my fingers red. They had been dyed blue from the day before, so I'm very patriotic. Okay, and then for stamping, I used my wonderful limestone. And then we have our Silverstone. And, oh, I actually forgot 2 inks. I used the Pure Graphite. The Industrial Diamond is in this family. I did not use it. I forgot to grab my Frayed Leaf and Forest Glades in the regular crisp dye inks, but I did use those as well. So I'm sorry I can't show you, but these are the colors here, the Frayed Leaf and the Forest Glades. They're just in these ink pads. And my cat just walked in, so I apologize if they're screeching in advance. Okay, so those are all of our inks. And then let's get to, I try when I do these to limit my supplies. I want to make beautiful things, but I don't want to use 17 stamp sets and, 5 ink families, and I want to make it so that if you guys like what I made, you can get it. And it's not like there are 75 supplies to create this one card. It's that, using your supplies in lots of ways so we get the most bang for our buck, because all of our supplies are an investment. Even if it's $2, it's an investment. It's your money. It comes out of your crafty budget. So I like to try to get the most bang for my buck. Like very thrifty in that way. So I hope you guys feel the same. So I used the beautiful Positive Vibes. This is one of my favorites. Like this Blooming Bouquet and Antique Roses are right now the top 3. And Floral Frame, which is another one I used on this. So, but we're talking about Positive Vibes right now. So you have the die that comes with it. I just store mine like this. I have some masks that I cut out of printer paper to use on my project, and I just store those in there. And then I had an extra piece. You'll see where I did that. So yeah, I just love like the handwritten fonts. So, and you'll see where I actually masked off some of the sentiments. I believe it was this one, Do All Things with Love. So you can see I use the grapevine ink. It stained my stamp, but that's okay. They work just perfect. Okay. And then one of my top 5 floral frame. This one has not only this beautiful floral image, the beautiful sprigs, but also has the sentiments. Like, I love these sentiments. I actually made a card, and I posted it on Instagram that had just these phrases on it, repeatedly stamped. So very simple, but it packs a punch. Like, it's a simple card. It's a great way to use your stamp set, and it's a great way to get mileage out of it. So you don't have to use everything all the time. This could be snow in the winter, like you have lots of little clusters. There's just so much you can do with this. Okay, that's one of my favorites. And this one does come with dies to cut out the 2 like leaves and the main floral image. Okay, moving on to stencils. So we used the Mega Bloom, which is just gorgeous. I was dying to use this and thought this would be the perfect project. When I get to these finals for the levels, I like to pull out my favorites. I like to pull out things that I'm in love with, because I think if you're in love with your supplies, you're going to create something. It's going to show. It's going to show. It's going to show that you love what you're doing and that you love what you're making. So pick your supplies like that. What makes you happy? Like, what in your supplies is your favorite, and use it. And in 6 months, I may move on to a different color. There may be another color besides limestone that I'm in love with. But right now, that's my jam, so that's what I want to use. So, and these mixed media inks, I have an idea for another project, which I've just got to pick up something so I can do it. But the inspiration has been flowing. So I used that. Sorry, I'm a little chatty today. And then I used the Teeny Hearts stencil. And I use this in a couple of different ways. So we'll see that when we get to the projects. Oh, I forgot another thing. I also used the trellis stencil. So you'll see what it looks like on here, but I forgot to get that. So I will show you the first set of cards I made. I actually have 3 sets of cards to share with you because, like I said, I had filming difficulties. I went to repeat them. And then I also wanted to show you what they would look like if you did like a different color, and see what mileage you can get out of 1 stamp set and 2 color families. Actually 3, because you need the greens, the pinks, and the grays. So I put some muslin bags for my packaging, which I thought was just so beautiful. And it went so well with the image. So, and got some nice thick twine to tie it all up. So for the cards, they were supposed to be masculine. They were supposed to be a thinking of you, an encouragement, a happy birthday, and a love anniversary one. So I will tell you, if you're going to do this project, iron your bag first, because I ironed my bag last and it messed up my ink a little bit. Like, it's not enough that it ruined my project, but when I had stamped this image on here, I had no stippling at all. When I applied the heat, that's when I got a little bit of stippling in a couple of places, but I still absolutely love the look of this bag. And sorry, it's got I've been working with some wood rounds, so it's got a little bit of wood on it, but I absolutely love this. And I have so many ideas, and these are just the regular crisp dye inks because I used my limestone and silverstone on this one with the forest frayed leaf and forest glades. There we go. If I can talk today. And then for the second bag, because I ordered, these are 5x7. I probably should have ordered 8x10. That would have fit both the cards and the envelopes, but I didn't. So my second bag contains my envelopes, which we'll get to in a moment. But so here's our first bag. And that's our packaging for that. So move those out of the way. So the first card, and what I want to mention is when you're using a stencil, you need to think about how you're going to use that stencil to maximize your time. So I will show you the cards in the order that I would do them with the stencil. So my first card has no stencil, so not a worry. So I just stamped the image there. I have, oh, that was another thing I forgot. There is a picture on my blog that shows everything that I created for the gray cards, and I'll probably take one for the other cards that I did too. But this had antique silver spray. I just put a bit on a block and a little paintbrush and dabbed and got that. And this is stamped in pure graphite. Anything you see that's dark is going to be the pure graphite. It is not black, which I loved. I also used, which I didn't pull out, my Rock Collection enamel dots. And I love enamel dots. I know other companies make, let me think, supplies that you can make your own enamel dots. But I love having ready-made enamel dots, A, that match perfectly to my project, but B, I can pop this in the mail like that. I can make it, pop it in the mail. I don't have to wait, and I love that. I love stuff when it works quickly together. So this is our first card, and I just love the simplicity. I love how it came out. And another thing I love about this stamp set, and I use it throughout my project, this leaf right here leaves a perfect place for a sentiment. So just perfect. And think about that when you're placing your image on your card front. You want to think about where you can sneak in your sentiments if you want a sentiment. It's okay to have a card without a sentiment. I just made one recently for another class, and it's okay because sometimes you don't know what you're sending a card for. It can be a blank note card, just, having either embossing or painting or something on it. I could just put the floral image center right here, do some splatter, and not have a sentiment if I wanted to. But this one is for my birthday card. I didn't want to have happy birthday, because you don't have to. It's have a beautiful day. And on your birthday, you should have we should have beautiful days every day. But I think that's a nice birthday wish. And my cards, I do not, I had it taped down so I could take a picture. I don't write anything on the inside because I don't know how I'm going to use it. I don't know if I'm going to use it, or if I give it to my mom or, my uncle or something. So I like to leave the insides blank in case until I figure out what I'm going to do with it. So this is what I'm talking about. So my stencil, and actually I did them in the wrong order. So here we go. Let me switch. So you got a little preview. So these next two cards, I took this is what I cut the die. I showed you in the back of the packaging. I had a piece of printer paper that I had cut the die out. I just put that over here. I don't put glue or anything. I just lay it on there as best I can. So when I'm splattering, I don't get it on my image. Sometimes I don't want that, and sometimes I do, but I didn't there. So that's how I did that. So these cards, so we'll start with this one first. This is the Thinking of You, the hello. So this one, I'll show you, it's got the trellis die. Oh, my lighting is horrible. There, you can kind of see it here. You'll see what the die looks like better on next. There we go. And this has dimension. So I did pop that up. But I dry embossed with the trellis stencil onto my card front. I stamped this in the same ink colors. I die cut it, popped it up on foam dots. I did my splatter before I put my image down, my focal image. I stamped my sentiment right on there. So it's right on the trellis, and it stamped perfectly fine. I didn't even use a stamping tool. I just used a block. And then we have more of the Rock Collection enamel dots. The second one that I used the dry embossing for with a stencil was this one. And this is an anniversary love card. Now, this was the one that I masked it off. It said, do all things with love. I didn't want that. So I just wanted the with love. So all I did was mask that off, and I got my beautiful With Love. And again, I love that these leaves just give you a perfect place to anchor your sentiment. I used more of the Rock Collection enamel dots, and we've got the trellis embossing, and then this one I popped up. I did inlaid die cutting. So I popped up the card front, and again, the splatter. And I don't know if you can see the shine. Let me wiggle it a little bit and see if it will pick it up. I can see it in real life. It's just got a soupçon of sparkle, and it's beautiful. So there, my stencil's clean because I've only done dry embossing at this point. So now I move on to some ink blending. So I stamped this in the pure graphite, which is the floral image. I didn't stamp it all. I stamped just a portion. So first I went ahead and I did my ink blending. I didn't want perfect all over my card front. You can see it's kind of light up. Trying to see if the camera will pick it up. Today's like the worst day to do this, but hopefully you can see that it's light. Let me see if yeah, that's really dark. Okay, so it's really light up here. It's really light down here, and I just wanted a diagonal. I liked the look of that. So I did my ink blending with my large blending brush from Altenew. I got my Rock Collection enamel dots. This is my encouragement card. We rise by lifting others. And right now, perfect sentiment. And again, I did my antique silver spray. This time I didn't cover it. You can see there's some in the floral arrangement, and I love the look of that. I think that might be my favorite card out of this set, although this one's pretty good too. So for this one, I stamped and die cut the floral image. I think I used too much embossing paste on this one. I'll just show you the second one that I made because I was trying to do a video for you guys. I like the look of not having as much embossing paste. So this I think has too much embossing paste. I like the look of this one better. But so you take your embossing paste, you drop in a few drops of the limestone, just keep mixing it until you like the color. I liked the color on this. And these were done at different times. So I was able to kind of match it pretty good. I wouldn't count on that, but I was able to, so I was happy with that. And I did just stamp on my embossing paste. And I think it came out okay. This one, a few little lines, a little bumpier, but that's okay. I like the distressed look, and I think that adds to the card. So we have the antique silver spray splatter, and then we have the Rock Collection enamel dots. So just love that. So see, we went from no stencil, and then we went to dry embossing, and then we went to ink blending, and then we went to embossing paste. So if you start with embossing paste first, you're going to have to clean your stencil to go back and do the others. So let me show you the other. And the thank you card was just an extra card I made. I like making thank you cards because who doesn't want to hear thank you, you know? Just a good thing. So these are the two that I made. I kept making these because I kept trying to film them. You saw the thank you cards. This is the With Love and the We Rise. And then this one I did not cover when I splattered, so you can kind of see I changed the position of it, and I changed the position of my sentiment. So you can see which one you guys like better out of the set. So those are there. So I made duplicates of all of those, but I kept trying to film the process for you guys, and it just did not work out. So in this second little, I did not stamp the floral image because as you saw, it was just grouped with the first one and tied with some twine in the package. And then this one, I'm not sure if you can see it. I stamped in limestone so it's easy to write over when you're addressing an envelope. So you could still put your return address here. I usually put mine on the back, but that's total preference. So I've got 5 envelopes to go with my cards. So then I thought maybe it would be fun to show you guys how you can just change it up a little and with a color and the difference that you get. So we're going to start first with a card that had no embossing. So this is a sympathy card. This is stamped in the ruby red and the pure graphite. I love the look of this one. I just got like a couple dots of the coral berry, frosty pink spray, but I love that. I love the simplicity of this card. I love the sentiment. So, and then I used the Red Cosmos enamel dots. So the next one on our journey would actually be two of them. So these are a little different. So I did a thank you card and I mixed my colors of enamel dots to match my image. This one I really love. I basically, I don't know if you can see the splatter. I wish I had a better setup here. You can see it a little bit, but it's so shiny and beautiful in person. So I have the enamel dots again, but what I did is I dry embossed first. Then I did put this in my MISTI. Then I stamped my floral image over it, and I love the look of it. I love this. This is one of my favorites. And this one, I thought, why not a shaker? So I put my beautiful sequence from Altenew in there. It's dry embossed, and I actually flipped this one. So instead of going down, these come up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So there's that one, and there's that one. So you can see the difference, and they're both excellent. So I do wish I used 2 levels of foam tape. Foam tape, I only used 1. And this is the last one I did for this one. I actually used Frosty Pink and Coral Berry. With my ink blending tool, I stamped this in ruby red. I have my dots. I have a little splatter, and I love that. BU. That can go for anything. I love sentiments that can work for lots of occasions. So I did the Frosty Pink basically all over the whole thing and then came in with a Coral Berry and just touched it up. So I don't have ones that match these two. I mean, they could be encouragement cards in my gray ones, and that could be a birthday card. So we will but see the difference? Just by changing the inks, look at the difference you get. So there's lots of different things, and look at the look you get with, move that over, sorry. You get, I have no ink blending on the back, and the simplicity of that, and there's really no splatter on that. That one's kind of plain, which is nice. I'm saying that in a good way. But this one, so you see the difference. You see just adding one little touch can add. And this one only had 1 color of ink. This had 2 colors of ink blended. So I just wanted to show you all the different ways that you could use this stamp set, 3 ink families, and the 2 stamp sets, just the supplies I showed you. So I think that's pretty good for as many cards as I got. And then these are the envelopes. I did these in Frosty Pink. It's just since you can't really see it well, it's just this image here, this stamped in the Frosty Pink and the limestone. Because I didn't want to mess up, when you mail it. Okay, the second part of my final was to make an altered project. So my husband had a lot of wood in our shed. So my stepfather was kind enough to cut these for me, and this is what I have. So I used the Mega Bloom, the Mega Bloom stencil, and I used my Frosty Pink, and I went over it with an ink blending brush. And then I came in with a finger dauber and just put where I thought it would be darker on the project. So we have that one. This one, I used the Teeny Hearts stencil. Let me move this over here. I used the Teeny Hearts stencil. Originally, I used embossing paste with the Frosty Pink. It was too light. When I put this picture, it didn't match. It didn't look right. And I looked at my husband's jacket and I'm like, wait a minute, that matches grapevine perfectly. So I took my stencil, I laid it back over the hearts that I had used the embossing paste on. I took a finger dauber and I went over until I liked the color to match with his coat. And I left one down here. I used the embossing paste and I used the antique gold metallic spray and mixed that together. And I had one special little gold heart down there. Now this entire thing is embossing paste with the hearts, this whole square. When I put the picture on, I'm like, ooh, it's, if I framed it with the hearts. So that was my idea there. And then I print my pictures on a Canon selfie, and I just basically trim this down until I like the looks of it. It's probably 2x2 would be my guess. And then I had corner rounder for my photos. So there's that one. And then the next one I'll show you. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my absolute favorites. I used my antique rose. I used the frayed leaf and forest glades, and then I used all of the red cosmos, and I used the top layer I put in the gold, and I just love it. So these were blank wood. Let me say that. This is it's called, I believe, Summer Haze by Martha Stewart. It's a satin little thing of paint. I got it at Joann's eons ago, so I don't even know if they make it anymore. But it's just kind of a light blue color. And I thought that would work really, really well. And I will tell you that I had another set of 4 of these to make another set of these. And I used spray paint, and spray paint did not work well for me. Doing this with one of those little foam brushes worked really well. But the spray paint was very difficult. It seeped in, it didn't have good coverage. It was just very difficult. So if you want to do this project, I recommend using one of those black foam brushes and putting your paint on. I did a layer of gesso, and then I did my paint, and it's painted on all sides. And see, it's kind of a rough texture. And I did stamp these freehand. Everything you see that's stamped was stamped freehand, of course, because it wouldn't fit into a stamping tool or anything. I don't think you could use a stamp positioner either. One of the old ones where you put the, little L bracket and you put it in. I don't think that would work either. So you definitely would freehand this. But I love this because it looks like I painted it. I so didn't, but it looks like I did. So it's so beautiful. Okay, and the last one. Now, I'm going to show you first my mistake. So I thought I would put our initial and have it be part of it. And I thought, okay, so what I did was I just dragged across, I can't speak today. I cut out the C from the Mega Alpha from Altenew, and then I masked that off so I would have the blue showing through. And I thought, well, I'll just drag the ink pad, the coral berry, across. And then I thought, well, once I do that, I'll use the mixed sprinkles stencil and I'll put embossing paste. So I did that. And then I thought, well, it'd be pretty cool if I had it shiny, which it's very shiny. I used the translucent pearl embossing powder. And when I was done with that, I was like, no, it doesn't look nice with the rest of them when you put them together as a group. So that's why we have 2 sides to everything. So this one I used, I actually forgot one stamp set. I apologize. This is from Ditzy Print, and it uses the gold embossing powder. So I used my anti-static tool. I just pounded the powder right to it, brushed it all off, and then I took my antique gold pigment ink, there we go, and I stamped it around, just all around. There's no stamp in the middle because I knew I'd be putting a photo. And then I put on top of it the antique, I put the translucent pearl, because the translucent pearl has a little bit of shimmer, different shimmer to it than the gold. So it's hard to see on the camera, but in person, it's got just that extra zhuzh. It almost looks like there are little blue-green particles in there, holographic or something, the way the light hits it. So in person, it's very shiny and beautiful and pretty, which is terrific. So these are my 4. And I think when I put them on my wall, they're going to go like this. So I'm really, really happy with them. And I am going to be doing another project with the mixed media inks. I just have to pick up my supplies. But I'm super ecstatic. And I hope that you guys, after seeing this, will give this a whirl. Try making some cards and try different ways to use your stencil. Flip your stencil upside down, over, crooked. Just see what you get. Just play. Just sit down and have fun. And that's what I did with this. And I'm so super glad that you stopped by to check out my projects, both my altered item and all of my cards that I ended up making. Once I start, I can't stop. I don't know if you guys are that way too. It's a problem. But it's a good problem to have. So thank you so much for stopping by and looking at my project. And thank you so much for taking part in this journey. I've said it before, I'll say it forever. I'm so happy to be associated with Altenew. I've had a personal tragedy in my life recently, and Altenew as people have been so supportive, as a company have been so supportive, taking their virtual workshops, and I've gotten to know people, and they have been so supportive and so kind and so helpful, and that has been critical to my journey. And so I encourage you to try this. Try, if this is something you're interested in teaching and showing people your creativity, definitely, apply for the AECP program, the Altenew Educator Certification Program, and try, because it's been an amazing journey for me. It's not done. It's still going on, and I'm super excited for what's to come. And I'm super excited to be involved with not only the company, but the people, because we as crafters have budgets. We wish we could have all the things, but so when we spend money, it's important to me, I can speak for myself only, that I'm supporting companies that are good companies, and Altenew is an amazing company. They are amazing people and an amazing company. And so I hope you'll check them out if you've never used their products. And if you have, keep using them, because they're beautiful. You get to make beautiful things. So again, I'm sorry I was pretty chatty today. I'm at a half an hour, but I'm excited to share these projects and talk about what I love. And I'm so thankful you're here for it. So as you go on into your day, don't forget to be kind and stay crafty and stay healthy in this world we live in today. Until next time, happy crafting.